right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pulse Check podcast. Boys, today, my guests today, I don't even know if they're guests, bro. These guys are been in every podcast. Jay God and Joe, y'all already know. And then my boy, Bradman, with the most luscious, beautiful hair I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh my gosh. Dude, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
Of course. Boys, we did it. We did it.
It's about time, baby. It's about time. Yo, can I say something really quick, man? Can I get some off my chest off the rip real quick? For all the people, every time I try to tweet about some changes and everything, I get just hate. They're not listening. They don't care. Stop, blah, 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 blah. They are clearly listening, man, because we're getting some positive changes. And every time I just see stop complaining, stop, just play the game. And now we're seeing good things, man. I just want to get that off my chest real quick. Sorry.
Bro, I've been saying from the very beginning. We were like, oh, they're not listening. I'm like, trust me, they are listening. It just, there needs to be appropriate steps to like make the changes happen. And the other day I got yelled at. They're like, oh, you streamers don't say things enough. Y'all don't tell them that the game sucks. I was like, brother, if anybody, we're the ones getting in trouble with them for telling them how bad the game is. But,
yep.
Boys, what are y'all's thoughts so far? We'll get into the details, but all of y'all, what do y'all think so far with everything going on with the new update coming in 3 weeks? Fuck, but what do y'all think?
Well, I'll preface by saying that the changes came not because streamers wanted these changes, but because the game isn't doing as good as it needs to do. Mm-hmm. If the game was doing everything that it needed to do, and their target demo was the demo that supported the game only, they would change nothing. We'd get new content. They'd move crews along. The only reason anything is changing because literally it's not working. So that's not a streamer problem. That's they're trying to protect their pockets, which is really the problem. So yeah, I'll start off by just saying that.
What about you, Brady Pooh?
I think the number one thing that I'm happy for is originally my birthday is on the 1st. That's when the update was coming out. I was so excited. I was going to do a 24-hour stream for the update. But listen, they moved it back to the 15th, and that is honestly, that's amazing. Like, that's the best thing they could have done, and just move it back and then give us these. They're not even really patch notes. It's kind of just like patch ideas because it doesn't tell you what they're doing. It's just like, we want to do this. We want to change and move it like this. I think it's where they're going is in a great direction where they're saying like, hey, we can't make this deadline. We're going to move it back a little. I know a lot of people weren't happy with that, but I kind of loved it. I was on today and people were like, yo, there's like patch notes out. So I was like, I'm not going to read those right now. There's no way there's patch notes out for something coming out on the 15th. Yeah. But, no, it's definitely worth it. If you haven't checked that out, definitely. I mean, there's some good things coming.
Bro, listen.
And on top of that, sorry. On top of that, they're about to follow up the worst day of the year, February 14th, Valentine's Day, with the best day of the year. So we'll take it, baby. We'll take it.
Hey, I'm finna be up, bro. I'm finna go on a day and then come back home and go to bed. Wake up, the update the next day. Yes, sir. No, boys. Okay, so I guess, listen, we got a lot to talk about. I think, can we all agree that this is probably the biggest update we've had? Probably, honestly, I feel like this is the biggest update because the game's actually changing completely, probably ever in Warzone. We're talking like literally from loot changing to the way the game feels. Literally, we're reverting back to Warzone 1. I guess we can get into it if y'all are down, boys. Anything you want to bring up real quick before we get into the patch notes or the blog that they posted? Anything? Also, the last thing I was talking about, on top of that, the bundles have been garbage because the game isn't doing well. There's not enough players to buy the blueprints. Like that. So they're not going to put the good shit in there. Yeah. Okay. That's what I was going to ask. This was my question. This is my thing. Okay. If, like, obviously it's a free to play game and they need to make money, why are the bundles so damn bad? There's not enough people to buy them. Is that what it is? They know people aren't going to buy them. I mean, usually each season they usually get better blueprints just because obviously they don't want to outpace themselves. That's a lot of times why like they put good shit in the game that's better than the stuff you can earn. There's going to be some kind of camo that comes in the next 6 months that's going to be better than Orion and all that stuff just because they got to work up to that. Right now, that stuff's cool, but then they add something that's cooler, and then they up it, and then continually up it. So there's that part of it. But I'm telling you, if this game was popping, there'd be some waifu skins in there. There'd be some whatever, and it'd be on good guns. Right now, it's only the RPK and the Fennec. Why the hell would anyone buy anything but the RPK and the Fennec? And when you change the attachment, you can't change the tunings. And then when you do change the attachment, it literally destroys the gun. It's like they never learned anything. They comp out with that M4 thing where literally it works on every attachment.
apparently those take tons of resources. Like, damn, those are the only thing we should be making. You should pop those out faster than you popped out attachments. But
Facts. Yeah, I agree. I agree. So what is that whole thing? So they have the ability to make your gun, you change the attachment, and it still stays like looking nice, like the M4 that we all got from porting the game. But have they come out with any other ones like that before? Or like no?
It's because they have to design the cosmetic for literally every attachment that's equipable on the gun. Like, whose dumb idea was it to have 70 attachments on the gun? I mean, they have to literally, like,
that's true.
Come on, man.
That's true.
But no, I was looking through the store earlier, and the skins are so bad. Like, there was a neon brown MP7 in the store. Like, I mean, there's stuff in the store that I didn't know existed. I mean, they made up a straight color. Like, truly, they could have, like, they've got someone that could make something maybe bright, just easy. I mean, like, the guns in the store would sell for 3 cents on the Counter-Strike market. Like, they'd sell for nothing.
Did you see the one that came out that's like a Nick Merck skin?
Really?
Yeah, but it's for the TAC M.
Yeah.
The TAC M?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
That's like the single tap, like.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's basically a Spartan one, and it even has like his orange, like his intro and everything, like that gold.
No
bronze.
shot.
Obviously, he built his branding off of the Spartan, so when they add it, it like applies. But if that was like a badass skin, he'd probably be buying it, and people would buy it too. You know?
And also the thing I don't get too is I feel like, again, the only like company or game that I think did this was maybe Fortnite, but if I was them, I think it couldn't be too hard to make a ton of skins. Like, drop a fire skin every single day or character. Yeah. They could make, I mean, not that they're not already making the bag, but if they do that like every day or every other day, really cool characters, where it comes to the point where, like, you know who's, like, if there's a certain streamer that wears that skin, like, you know that's them, because there's so many characters, so many skins, and like, or cool camos that, like, people would buy those so much more than dropping them like once a week or once every 2 weeks, just mid stuff.
They don't have a schedule. Like, I don't know when they're coming out. I don't check the store because you don't know. Like, maybe every Friday you check it. You know what I mean? But I don't know.
What are you talking about? You don't check the store at 2 a.m.?
Dude, I don't even know where the tab's at. If you ask me, I wouldn't be able to tell you where the store tab is. Genuinely, I don't know.
That's bad, huh?
Anyways, all right, let's get into the update, bro. For those of y'all, anybody watching right now, I want y'all to know that this is probably the biggest update that we've had probably in the last year and a half. Like, this is a huge update, but it doesn't go live until 3 weeks from now. 3 weeks, today's Wednesday, 3 weeks from now. And I cannot be more excited. Let's get into it, boys. Let's get. I don't know if you guys have it pulled up off to the side. If you guys want to go, I don't want to read. Obviously word for word and just bore people, but let's go into the topic at hand. Yeah, so Gulag, boys, thoughts on the Gulag? A real quick brief summary of what they changed to the Gulag. Gulag is now returning to 1v1, back to the Warzone 1 style, and now same thing, flag is in the middle. With overtime, you need to capture the flag, and then they're changed the guns to where they're assault rifles, SMGs, and LMGs. No, pistols are secondary, so you can still have a pistol. And then really cool, there's going to be cash on the ground, and then if you win, you get a cash bonus as well. So in summary, that's what they did for the Gulag. Thoughts, boys? What do y'all think?
I think that's a phenomenal start. I don't really care that they're changing from a 2v2 to a 1v1, even though I memed like the 2v2 sucks, and it does. What I like is obviously that they are going back. That's cool. But the number one thing is they're going to do ARs, SMGs, and LMGs, which is going to help so much as you're landing back in and trying to go help your teammates regain, who actually have a gun and not the stupid P890 8-round pistol. Like, you don't stand a chance against anybody that has a loadout. I think that's the biggest change. That's a W, is you actually have real guns to use and not just junk.
My number one thing is, like, I agree with you. The 2v2 isn't the biggest issue. Like, the 2v2, you know, the way that it was put in wasn't good. Like, the jailer, whoever thought of that idea, the jailer sucks. I mean, there should be a flag. Like, today, I was on 4 to 5 wins in a row in solos, and I lost on time because nobody won. Like everyone was just running around. No one could fight each other, and boom, the guns are so bad. Even if you see someone, you can't kill them because you got an 8-round pistol that I couldn't kill anyone with it, to be honest. And so the flag being in there, like, the 2v2 would be fine-ish with the flag in. The flag in with the 1v1 and the new guns, I mean, that's going to be massive. The submachine guns especially. That's going to be so nice.
I mean, they just copied what they did in Caldera at the end. Obviously, that was a quality of life change for the reason that Joe mentioned, so that you aren't coming back with the pistol and you don't have to be forced to get like loadout camped when you come back.
Yeah.
So I think that's a W overall. I'm not sure the cash part of it. It seems like you might get a higher percentage of your money you had back. It's not 100% clear, I don't think. So like, let's say you had 10,000 for someone who had 5,000. If you win your gulag, well, instead of you left 50%, you come back with 50%. Maybe you come back with 75% or something like that.
They call it in the patch notes, they call it victory cash reward. So I'm assuming you get a bonus just based off of winning, like
maybe a certain amount. That'd be cool.
A high percentage would also,
Do y'all think that's going to be like a standard across the board? So let's say you win your goose, you come back with automatically 2,000, automatically 1,000, or do you think it's going to be a percentage of what you initially had? Because the whole point that I'm reading here in the blog, it says it's for regaining. You know what I'm saying? So what are y'all's thoughts on that?
It's probably more likely a fixed amount.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I think
it would be better if it was based off a percent, because if you had racks, you should come back with racks,
Yeah. Maybe both. I mean, like if they take away the percentage and then add the, you die with 18 racks and you come back with 2K.
Or maybe there's a minimum, like which is greater than or equal. If you have under 1,000, then they're going to give you 1,000. So at least when you come back to the buy station, you get your gun. That's going to be cheaper. We'll get to that part. Or if it's a percent base, maybe you get 2,000 or 5,000 or whatever your quantity was. I think it could work with both.
The way I think that, I think logically speaking, the way that would work, in my opinion, I think is going to be the same half of what you originally came in. So let's say you had 18K, you're going to come back with 9K, but because you won, you're going to have an extra 1,000 to 2,000. That's what I think. It's no matter what you originally had, it's half, but then it's 1,000 to 2,000. That's what I think. I don't know. Am I lagging? Am I good?
I think you're good.
Okay.
You look fine, but you're like there was a little bit of bit rate action going on with your cam a second ago, but you're good.
All right. So, I mean, Gulag Boys, I think that is going to be a huge W. It's going to decrease the RNG, right? But all right, next one. This is I feel like we all told them like plenty of times, and they finally changed it. But cash economy, boys. Cash economy. So there's a couple things in here. They buffed it, but also nerfed. So if we can go through it, it's piles of cash from the ground loot. So piles of cash that you find obviously on the ground, instead of it being previously 100, it's now going to be 800, right? And then cash from registers, where previously it was always 500 or 100 minimum as well, is now at 500. So cash on the ground reduced to 800, and then cash from registers 500. So no longer 100 cash. It's always going to be anywhere from 500 to 800 or more, right? And then let me see. And then what else? You can no longer find cash in regular basic supply boxes or legendary supply boxes. So it's going to be less looting from like chests, getting money, and it's going to be more ground loot stuff. What do y'all think about that? So it's buff and a nerf.
I think it's good. I think the most important line is at the end, as they say, the redistribution should make for quicker, more consistent gameplay in the pursuit of resources, right? But if there's so many times now that you have so much money, but you have nothing to do with the 20 racks you have. So does that mean that they'd be changing up the buy stations? Because there's times you can't buy UAVs, you can't buy precisions, and you have your munis, you have everything that you need, you have a ton of money. So does that mean they're gonna be changing up buys? Because it's great to have more cash on the map, but if you can't even use the cash, then I'm like, what is the point of having?
Or even find buy stations.
Yeah. So it's kind of like it's obviously a great change, but will they go kind of change up how buys and things are like that or is just gonna be you can get more money on the map in general, which is still good, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they talked about that, right, boys? We'll get to it
further in.
Yeah, we'll get to it. I think the interesting thing is they changed from the contract portion of it, which I always kind of valued in the Warzone 1, was the multiplier that as you did more contracts, you would receive a bigger reward. So it could start off smaller and then you're incentivized to do 2 or 3 contracts, so that when you do come back later in the game, your teammate can do 1 contract and that number could be multiplied by higher. So you're investing in late game on the regain by doing that. So they removed that portion. So I don't really like the idea of the money lowering without the multiplier, but obviously it's going to be there. I think that the chests should have them, especially if they're going to restock. What other chests are you going to go to? Oh, let me go to the stronghold that I hope is empty. Well, that hasn't been looted or whatever. I think it gets a little bit wonky. Having random stacks of cash that are more, that's good. I don't know if they're going to change the cost of teammates or something like that, but
I think
Yeah.
it will.
overall, yeah.
I
The
don't know.
cash registers, I feel like are a bit OP though. Like if
Yep.
$100 minimum right now, if you open up a cash register and find 500, 800, 800, 800, I mean, you're finding almost 3K in a single
Yep.
cash register. You could drop somewhere and find 6 cash registers, and you'll have 15K off rip. That's what it seems like.
Yeah, I think the money in this game is going to be really good. I guess money I think is a big issue right now. But even then, when you do get hella money, right? Let's say you do the appropriate things to gather money. The downside to it all is there's nothing to spend it on. So which we'll get into right now later on. But yeah, good change. Big W. Loadouts.
Holy schmoly.
All right,
About
loadouts.
time.
You skipped one. You skipped
Wait,
one.
did I? Oh my god, I did. Oh my god, I'm sorry.
Okay, I was like, that's an important one too.
Oh yes. This okay. This is the most important in my opinion. I'm so sorry. I don't know how I skipped that.
100%.
Yeah. Loot and inventory, guys. Loot and inventory for anybody watching. It is completely different. This is literally, they tried to reinvent the wheel with Warzone 2. Added backpacks, satchels, added all this stuff, right? Like now you're looting backpacks, and then 3 months down the road, which I'm very happy about. Don't get me wrong, I'm ecstatic. We are going back to Warzone 1 style. Vomit loot, no more backpacks, no more large, no more medium backpacks. Whenever you kill somebody, their loot vomits out like back to normal, back like in Warzone 1. I think this is gonna be a W. Let me go through it, right? So we did that. Let me see. Backpacks gone, medium, large. Every player will have the same backpack going in. There's no buying, upgrading backpacks. And then what was one thing, boys, that I wanted to cover? I think that's the same thing. Never mind. I'm good. I think I went over it, right? Anything else you guys want to add? I think that's the whole.
Yeah, just that you can't pick up any every player has the same amount of backpack space. You can't stack streaks anymore. You can't have 10 precisions and it'll just be max probably 3 streaks you can have on you probably. I mean with backpack space.
And I think that's a good thing, but also it kind of scares me, obviously, because let's say there's multiple, there could just be piles of loot in the same area, which certain players could either hide in, or it could be tough to see people. Is there going to be stuff that gets stuck in walls like we have now with guns, and things like that? There's times that if you die, things will get stuck in a wall or stairs or things like that. But I do like that obviously when people have their own backpack space is that let's say quads are playing as a team, there could be certain players that have certain roles on a team to carry ammo for the team, to carry self-reses for the team and things like that. It can kind of change up how certain teams play. If everybody can't carry a ton of stuff, there can be certain players that kind of have roles on a team to kind of play how they choose to be. So I think that is kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah, so, I mean, let me chime in real quick, boys. Actually, you know what? Let you guys go. J-God, Brad, what do you guys think about this change? As W, is there something that you don't like about it? What do you guys think?
Hey, the biggest thing for me is with the way that the backpack is now, I don't mind it, to be honest. I don't mind the medium, the large. Sometimes it sucks when you kill someone and you can't pick up their backpack and they have so much stuff you just can't grab. The number one thing is being able to run around while you're looting. When you're looting a backpack right now, you're just stuck. You just get shot and boom, you're dead because you can't get out the menu. So it'd be nice to at least be able to run around while you're looting because all the stuff will be on the ground. You'll be able to see it all. That's the number one thing for me. I really like that.
They got it.
I mean, this goes back to kind of what I talked about, because we had a call literally. Well, there was only a couple of us, but there was a call, and it's like, oh, what do you think of Warzone? I say you just need to remove backpacks. So I'm all for this. I think that a lot of people that are a little bit more battle royale centric, they feel like that's part of the systems that they should be there. Personally, I think what defined Warzone is the streamlined looting. Being so impactful, and the reality is that gets destroyed with the backpack. So I think this is going to be making things feel a lot faster, smoother. You're going to actually be playing. I mean, there's more to it probably, but in general, I think it just fixes a lot of issues.
Yeah.
And I think it's the route they had to go, other than just removing the backpack entirely. Because even if you do end up with 7 streak, that's your entire inventory. You're not going to have any plates. You're going to be a fool running around with 0 plates.
Yeah. So
how many? And you can only do 3.
How many slots is there?
It's
in a
either
backpack?
5 or 6.
It's
5. Yeah, I
5.
would say 5 or 6.
5.
Yeah. So realistically speaking, okay, in my opinion, I kind of like the backpack like system. Don't get me wrong. I hate backpacks like when picking up shit, right? I like the backpack, you being able to get even a medium backpack. I think is a happy medium, right? No pun intended. But like, I think I think it would have been cool to have like a medium backpack only, or you could buy that off of like buy station. They have them in every buy station, and then from there you have vomit loot everywhere else, right? Like you kill somebody, vomit loot comes out. You open a chest, vomit loot. Anything. No more going through backpacks to look for things. But I do like having a backpack on you to carry more things. Going from, let's say, go ahead.
No, sorry. Good.
So going from like doing. Go ahead, Joey. Go ahead.
No. So sorry. Like on that point of, like, trust me, I felt the same way. I didn't really mind them either. They kind of got some bad hate for them. The only thing that scares me now is if there's a ton of stuff on the ground, will the things that you're going to be running over max out? So if you have like 2 plates and as you're running over a set of plates, will that take your plates up to 3 or do you have to grab it? Because as you know, if you try to grab something, it'll drop your gun sometimes. Will that get like, if there's a lot of loot in one spot, it'll be very, very tough to grab stuff depending on if they change it or not.
It needs to be auto pickup in my opinion.
It will. It will.
I think so too.
It will 100%. There's no way there will not. I don't think they release the game when like with auto pickup off. In my opinion, you're gonna auto pickup, but it's gonna only be whatever you have in your inventory. So let's say you have 1 plate in your backpack, right? You have 3 stowed or 3 in your whatever carrier, and then in your backpack you have 1. It'll pick up 2. Like that's the way I think it's gonna work, and it'll automatically pick it up. So. Same thing for I think for everything else. In my opinion, auto pickup. What's it called? Ammo. Same thing. I don't know if that's well,
that's kind of how it's been currently working. Like for pretty much if you do have plates, it will pick up the plate. But I think one change too is they went for the realistic approach where all the loot currently within Warzone 2, it essentially just lays on the floor however it lands. So it kind of is weird physics wise that it can interact and clip and you can end up losing access to a bag or whatever. With this, I think they're going back to the way Warzone is, where the loot is semi-floating. Like where it's kind of like not on the floor, so it's not going to clip with the ground. I mean, maybe it'll clip into a wall, and then the reduction of loot is primarily going to be plates. I don't know if it'll be like a 12 stack of plates though. Will it be 3, 3, 3, 3,
Ooh,
I'm not sure how that'll work.
I missed from Warzone 1 2 how you could have ammo for every gun, launcher, shotgun. Even if you didn't have a launcher or shotgun in this game, you pick up a sniper from your loadout and you don't have any sniper bullets. There's no way you'll have sniper bullets. Ain't no way, because you don't have them before you pick up your gun. Used to in Warzone 1, you'd have every single ammo type when you're in buy, which could be a little OP, but the way that COD goes in terms of pacing and stuff like that, I felt like it was great for the pacing, just always having ammo for your guns.
I don't know if they do that. I hope they bring that back because like I really don't see why they wouldn't, right? Like having ammo for every single type of gun has always been like a staple in Call of Duty since or at least Warzone since it starts. That's something that nobody asked for, and like now the backpacks are out, there's no real reason for them not to revert that. So I think we see that happening. I think everybody hates backpacks on the floor, backpacks like in that sense, but I don't think people really hate backpacks on your person. I don't know how to explain that.
As an inventory,
So I think it's cool, like kind of managing your inventory was, in my opinion, even though it's pretty small, but it is a skill gap in this game, because if you get a black site, you have so much stuff, knowing what you have in your inventory, having to swap out, put streaks in your on your person, right? It's a small skill gap, but it's there, right? So many times you see people, I forgot to have this, right? Now that's not going to be a thing. So in my opinion, I think definitely keep the vomit looting, keep all that. That's perfect. But bring back maybe medium backpacks. I don't think large is kind of insane. Or if they want to do that, bring back medium, large backpacks. Just it's going to be tricky whenever you kill somebody and they have a large backpack and then it vomit loots out everywhere. That's going to be, So
real quick, can we just talk about that? We've got to the point in Warzone 2 that. And you're not the first person that said that. I've heard it everywhere, but we've gotten to the point that we're saying that backpacks are a skill gap. Like I'm like, well, where are we go? But I'm like, I mean, now, like you said, it'll be it'll be different. But
we'll see what
I've had people
happens.
try to,
It
tell
is
me
fun to
that.
manage your inventory, dude. I used to find people, I'd kill them, and they'd have like 900 AR bullets. Like,
Yeah.
they just have stuff that you didn't need. Like
That was me, bro. Chill, please.
That was all of us the first time we played this game. Let's be honest.
Yeah, like who are you fighting? What are you preparing for?
Anyway, so that's loot inventory, boys. Anything else y'all want to say before we move on to the next one? This is the biggest one in my opinion. That's gonna change the way the game plays completely. Definitely way more fast or way faster pace. Sorry.
100%. Yeah.
Now loadouts. We can get into this. Okay, so I'm gonna summarize this. It's a really long thing that we have here, but pretty much loadouts is going back to, again, Warzone 1 style. There's going to be 2 loadout drops, one in first circle, one in the 5th circle. They're going to reduce the prices for loadouts, which is fucking amazing. And then perks are going to be back, custom perks, the ability to make custom perks, but they're going to decrease the pool of perks allowed. I don't know how they're going to decide what perks are going to stay and what perks. I just hope if any devs are watching this, please get Ghost out. Please. I hate it.
And Birdseye.
Yeah, it's not going to happen, but please.
But you already know which ones are going to stay and which ones are going to go. If sweats are using them, they're gone.
Yeah, I agree. No, I agree. No, it's true. It's facts, bro. But
Ghost is going to be the most used perk, 100%.
And then I guess would
Birdseye, they just need to nerf it and allow it to counter ghosted players because it does.
Does it right now counter ghost? No, right?
Pretty much.
Or it does.
Yeah.
So
if you call the streak in, I'm pretty sure if you call the streak in.
But not if somebody else calls it in, they won't come out?
Correct. I don't think so. I'm not 100% sure. I don't play Battle Royale that often. And
I really don't even think Birdseye that's.
Birdseye is broken.
You think so?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I feel like it's
my
not
God.
that bad.
People
Well,
aren't
I
running
think
it,
especially
though.
for like their styles, obviously if he's gonna run solos and then Joe's gonna run like solo trios, quads, whatever. And if you do a lot of 2v2s, it's literally broken because you don't have to call a UAV in for your teammates, your opponents to actually get any intel, and you'll know where people are.
Yeah.
It's
so broken.
and not just that, is where they're facing. So there's times that I know where a team is looking and I can land in the most idiotic place on them because I know based on that
Angle,
which direction they're looking at. So I'm like, this is perfect. Like, and I know for a fact it's not supposed to be like that, but for the past however many days I've been on it, it's been freaking amazing because it's been
Change the
great.
description when you're in Warzone creating the class, because if you go to I'm pretty sure multiplayer, it's supposed to make your map zoom out more. It doesn't do that in Warzone, but that's removed from the description, and it says something about UAVs and something else because they function differently, like the same way in Warzone 1 where like certain perks were useful and others and not.
Yeah. I guess I don't know. I personally never use it. I know
You gotta use it. It's broken.
Oh,
I've used it a couple times, and like I'm like, oh, it's cool, but like I've never used it. I'm like, oh, like this is insane. But yeah, yet again, I've been going for nukes.
For the reason Joe said is because then you can like strategize how you want to rotate. You're like, oh, those fools are looking that way.
Yeah.
All right, we're free.
Yeah. Okay.
And you only need one person on the team. All they gotta do is, hey, they're on this side. They're over here. It's so cheese.
When you play with
So
someone that has
cheese.
Birdseye, it seems like they're hacking. They're like, yo, they're over here. There's 3 guys down there. It's like,
Literally, like they're
Jeez.
coming.
yeah.
Like they're coming what buildings they're like, and you can't even see them on the map. Like, and you're like, how do they
You
know
can be
they're up
flying
exhaust?
over. It's
Yeah.
so cheese. It's so cheese.
Crazy.
Well, I guess it's broken. If y'all say I'm gonna trust y'all, I'm be
The
honest.
only real downside is if you're on a black site, you're kind of
It's
like
horrible.
get broken
Yeah.
information. You're
Which
like,
I-
okay, there's 17 AI here. What the hell am I looking at?
Okay,
50
so
is usually 50.
do you guys all agree that like even at an advanced UAV or Birdseye, bots should not ping, or they should be a way to distinguish the two, like a regular UAV? I feel like bots shouldn't even ping in general. Or if they do ping in an advanced UAV or Birdseye, they have to have some type of way to determine like that's a bot. Because right now, you fight for a black site and you're like, oh, I got an advanced UAV. But if endgame, like you land, if endgame you're in like a body area and you pop your advance, it's like you're at a
I think they
disadvantage.
should just ping like a normal UAV where they're just
They should
hollowed
diamond.
out, open square or diamond, whatever. And then the real players, if they have ghost, they'll be filled in square. And obviously, if they don't have ghost, then they'll be the triangle.
I agree. Okay, I just want to make sure we're all on the same page here. But okay, so loadouts, boys. What do y'all think about the change? We didn't even talk about it yet. But what do y'all think about the actual change of the loadouts now? 2 loadouts, perks are back. We went over that, but loadouts themselves, I don't know how drastically they reduced the price of the loadouts, but that's reduced, and then now 2 free loadouts.
Hey man, anything at this point, brother. I was taken out of my 401k to get a loadout, man. Like, it was actually insane. If you were in quads, you literally have to round up 57 contracts to buy, and even then, it's like there's no point even buying one. You can just wait for the second zone. But now I'm assuming it'll probably go back to how it's been in like the first zone, and then probably like the 4th or 5th zone, which I also like.
Notes say 5th
zone.
Yeah,
okay.
1st and 5th.
The only thing that kind of scares me is I know in Caldera at the beginning, you could like almost float and then land early because that crate dropped so fast, which the more kind of like, I thought that was great, but that's not really good for the game. But I think it'll be obviously a great change because buying them was insane. It was way too pricey.
I love that. I love. Sorry, back in Caldera, I loved the way that they did that. Like it would, bro. You could even solo quad. It would because you get your loadout so fast. So me personally, I thought that was sick.
Same.
But yeah, so
with the loadouts how they are now, the only thing that I'm like scared is like in Caldera, it dropped individual loadouts. Like it dropped you your own loadie. This, it's dropping like group loadouts. So like if in the first circle it drops 8 loadouts, and then in the 5th circle it drops 3 more, I feel like the screen could get a little cluttered. Like when you drop out of the gulag and you see just 18 loadouts on the screen and just you can't see really anything else, that's pretty interesting. Another thing that they said is primary weapons will continue to be available at the buy stations, but now at a more affordable price point, which currently it's 2.5K, which is affordable. That's
affordable.
Very affordable.
Now they're going to reduce
they're
that.
upping the cash.
Yeah.
Especially they're upping the cash.
So like,
what
what are they going to change it to? 1K a gun?
Yeah.
Like
I mean, I'm like cash register beside a buy and go get my guns in 30 seconds. Like it's not going to be an issue. You know what I mean?
They definitely should keep it at 2.5K, 1,000%.
Yeah.
I don't see the need if they're gonna up the cash for them to reduce the prices of guns. I think 2.5K is fucking perfect. If it's like 1K, brother, what's the point of having ground loot? I mean, I guess it's okay. Like if we just want to like fly, but like 2.5K.
There's no point because think you could fight and die, come back from the goose and have their cash bonus, land on a buy your gun, keep it rocking and rolling. Like if they're trying to kind of have like a BR pace, I feel like that's definitely not how they should be going about it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we have to see how it plays out too, because obviously sometimes there's things that you think will play a certain way that they won't, and then it just works out differently. You know?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it will bring up the pace of the game. I will say people are going to be flying left and right. I definitely feel like we're headed in the right direction. Right now, the meta is play like a rat, being very honest, being tactical, right? And
Sentinel.
Sentinel gameplay, and I think this is definitely gonna change the pace to where now you can still play like that, but if you want to actually push kids, now finally game is catered to everybody, not just like right now. Warzone right now, if I get to hop on the game right now, it is catered for tactical gamers. It's catered to casual game. After this, like you're gonna be able to play however you want, and I think that was their goal from the beginning, is to make a game where they could literally any type of play style, you can play the game in, you know? So
I think too
ecstatic.
I think they also saw how many people loved the OG normal features of the first Warzone, and they tried to change that up, and then they got feedback instantly like this does not work. And I feel like they should have known that in general, how popular the game was and how many features people loved because of, just how they were, and not try something new. The one thing I wish they would definitely bring back is portable buy stations. I don't know if anybody ever complained about that, but there's times in 4th, 5th zone, there's no buy ever.
Well, that gets addressed later on in the patch notes too.
Really? Does it?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, let's keep moving. I didn't know that. Hey,
I'm pretty
you were
sure
cooking there, Joe. You were
not
cooking.
the portable buy, but I'm talking about just buy stations in general.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, man.
But one thing I will say is that, like, they could have kept the game super simple, just copy and paste. They could have even still added strongholds even though you're like, cool, the UAV pulse, whatever. And then black sites, imagine if you got a specialist bonus from black sites or something.
Oh my
You know what I mean?
Oh.
You would still do them. You would still do them. You know what I mean?
That'd
Right
be
now,
black
like
site.
a loadout's like, yeah, what do you do for a black site? Okay, I get this super UAV thing. That's cool. But like they could have really integrated it and people would have been like, oh yeah, that's dumb. Well, yeah, I'll just avoid that area, whatever. No, I want my perks.
Hey,
So
you're
I mean, there's
cooking,
cool
Jaga.
things they could have done. I mean, they kind of did it when they did what's the Nakatomi Tower?
Yes,
in the
that was
basement and on
amazing.
the roof they had AI.
That was
They had
amazing.
AI there. I mean, it wasn't like this AI, but it was AI. So the concept is there, and they really just had the blueprint, and all they needed to do is just keep building on it.
Yeah.
And they just said scrap. So I mean, it kind of feels like we're reverting. Like, oh, why? Like I see that all the time where people be like, hey. Just a side note, even though kind of off track, but it's like people be like, well, why didn't they just, give us a new map and we keep Warzone 1? Well, that wouldn't have done well. They should have just kept what we had and then built on top of it so we can go, ooh, ah, because there's still a lot of room for opportunity within the game, even within Warzone. There was still a lot of opportunity to build off of and just keep certain core mechanics. Not that we need slide canceling and all these other things. Like, we just want to be able to play the game, to have versatility in play styles and everything, but so we'll get there eventually. It's just a matter of time, and maybe not till season 3 or 4. I think this is a huge step, but I think we won't actually see like the game that's going to be like really fun to grind hours until probably season 3 or 4.
But that's also scary because knowing that by that time, how many players will stop playing by that time because they already hate the game. So I feel like the devs should be seeing that now of like, whoa, we haven't seen a ton of people. Again, there's only like one graph about it and it's only Steam but obviously if they're making these changes, things are not going right. So you would think they would be like, we need to do something drastic, like which they are. But again, before seeing the final game of season 3 or 4, how many players at that point will stop playing? And if there's a new game out, could that take over the game because so many people haven't liked what they've been playing in general? So that's good, but also kind of scary because there's probably
overall, I think it'll
done.
still recover because even if you look at like Google Trends or whatever, you can see that Caldera from basically New Year's until the game essentially was dead and we moved over to this game. Like it was continually in an upslope because everything they did continued to improve the experience. And I know some people were like, oh, is it just for streamers? Well, like, I don't know how many streamers you think there are, but they're not impacting Google Trends. Like, literally, you know what I mean? That's the number of searches worldwide, bro. Like, it just keeps going up. So, so that's just the side.
And side thing too, that's the same thing from the beginning. Towards the very end, I loved the map, the balloons, everything. Towards the end, that was probably my favorite map and just the pacing of the game. Caldera was amazing at the end. And I think that they made a ton of really good changes throughout the game. But again, how many people quit to get to that point? It's kind of
one more side note. The sucky part is it's like and it makes sense, but like people's first impressions, they will last forever. Like you can't, there's only so much you could change and only so many, like, you could make the game the best. Like Caldera at the end, I liked it more than Verdansk. I don't care. But Caldera at the beginning, console players couldn't even play. They couldn't even play the game. So, people had already moved on.
No matter the mode or anything.
Yeah. So it's like, if people hate the game from the start, it's just going to be like that unless they make these changes fast. And so hopefully, they're starting to ramp it up. But
I have a question, boys. Is this later on in the blog? They talk about they're changing the rewards now for black sites and strongholds. Did they talk about that? Is that later? Is this right here?
It's in there, I believe. They talk about AI changes. It might have been earlier or after, but they don't address what those rewards are.
Yeah. So I said this before, right? Like, or you said it before. The dropping imagine specialists now, because now you can't have like 50 different streaks and stuff now in your backpack. They give us specialists. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that would be fire.
But only black site, not strongholds, black site. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like that would be sick.
Or just something else that can make the game where that there is something big at that spot. Whether that's, like you said, that maybe even like a large backpack, maybe like one of them, or like cool, just something else that makes it worth it to go there, and not like we have to go fight a ton of bots to get some money, which we already have in general that we can't buy stuff at. Like it just kind of is, I don't know. Like,
Well, what's that zone? The foresight?
Yeah, I mean, hey.
I mean,
They gotta
how
give us
bad
something.
recons are? Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, recons
you
are
can't even do
awful.
recons.
I
Yeah,
didn't even know that
like-
was a
so, I
thing.
mean,
I didn't even know, guys. I
Yeah,
did not
they're
know recons were in the
intel.
Yeah.
No idea. Didn't know. Not
they're
at all.
terrible. You gotta you pick up the contract, you go pick up something else, and then you go. So it's like you're running a whole.
Yeah, you get
route.
you have to get the contract, and then you go find this computer in a zone where it's a hard drive. You got to pull it out of the laptop. Then, based off where you are on the map, you have to climb a tower, or like it could be on the floor level. And then you put the hard drive in there. Then you wait with the little yellow flare above your head.
Yeah, the second I see those,
God.
I fly. The second I see it.
Yeah, somebody mentioned this. It might be like those doomsday devices or whatever the hell they were called in the end of Caldera. Maybe that's what they'll do with the black sites.
I mean, so okay, so they
What were
are
those
changing
called?
it. Which ones?
Remember, like it was by peak. There was a little crate where the things would come down, and then you would get like foresight.
Yeah.
What was it called?
I know what you're talking about.
The mysterious device or some
I call it
other
the snake or something like that. Pink snake. That's what I call it.
doomsday
Yeah.
device. I think it was called. Well, that they might just do that. You know.
Uh-huh. That one wasn't too bad because
okay.
like the AI weren't killing you.
So are they changing it? Do you guys think I feel like stronghold reward is gonna stay the exact same, but I think for black site they can no longer just be one advanced UV like
Strange device.
like that's what it was called. Okay,
Strange device.
So I don't know. Do you guys think they changed the rewards for strongholds? I think that'd be fucking sick. Imagine
strongholds?
specialists, bro. Specialists.
100%. Yeah.
Oh my
That would
god,
be
bro.
insane.
Well,
That would be
I will say
insane.
this: we could be overthinking it drastically because right now, if you kill the jug, whoever kills the final shot gets a blueprint. Maybe it's as simple as getting a different blueprint for killing the jug. You never
But
know.
don't worry, it'll be in the store in a week, so make sure to check that out.
exactly.
I don't know. I just like how the black site people are actually realizing that you're supposed to go there, like and do it. I mean, because the game's been out for how long, and I didn't even realize until maybe even a month ago that the black site was actually something you could go and do that was actually good. But I mean, especially if they made it better, specialist. I mean, we were dropping Nakatomi like with our hearts out. Like if you didn't get specialist, probably just left the game. Like I mean,
It was so demoralizing, man. Like you were zooming, you had high alert, everything goes. People couldn't find. Like, that was telling you.
I loved it, but let me see. I guess it's not here in the loadout.
It is
tab.
right there. Yeah,
Where is it?
Yeah, it's right below. We got additional changes: 3-play vests, movement, buy stations, and then strongholds.
Oh, okay. It's at the last. Okay. I will go on to the next one then. 3 plates. I'm so happy, boys. I know everybody probably doesn't. Maybe it's not. People don't care as much. But this right here is probably my favorite thing out of the entire update. 3-plate vests are back. There is no longer gonna be. Everybody starts off with 2 plates. No, everybody starts off with 3-plate vests. And back to normal. Everybody is on an even playing field. And I am so damn happy about it. I don't know about y'all. What's y'all's thoughts? I think I'm so happy. This is my favorite thing out of the whole thing.
I mean, that second bullet after that is maybe my favorite, but that's not but we're talking about the best right now. But I think it's fire because that reduces the RNG factor so much. If you land in, you get the best gun ever. You could have, if somebody has a 3-plate vest, you will die. Like, it doesn't matter. Yep. They could be shooting dodecagons. You're going to die. So I think it definitely reduces the RNG factor. I think overall it's a W, but that's definitely a great change, I think.
100%. It was definitely needed. I mean, there was just times where you could hit every bullet and you just knew you were going to die. As soon as you hit that first bullet, you see that purple plate, it's over. I lost the fight.
Yep.
Nothing I could do.
You literally run around the entire map, and if you're coming back from the Googe or whatever and you have the 2-plate, you don't get into any gun engagements because you're dead. Like, you're practically, like, it don't matter who you are, bro. Like, I don't care if you're DS. Like, you're dead. You're dead. All right. Let me see. Next thing, Joe. You know what, Joe? I'm going to have you read this one. I'm going to guys, the next one is movement. Movement changes. Joe, take over.
We have made an important tweak to movement that should yield better outcomes of players in combat. Starting with Season 2, players will be able to burst through doors and my back while plating their way. They would be if they were sprinting. This change includes a slight increase to movement speed while plating to enable players to get to cover faster in moments of need. Absolute W, baby. The only thing that scares me is it doesn't say plating and gunning, but either way, I don't care. That is an amazing, amazing change. I think that is the number one thing that has been like something I've been preaching forever. And I've seen, like I said, people saying they don't listen. They don't care. They obviously care because they're doing changes like this. But any increase is good. It doesn't say full sprinting, but any increase. If you have to go around a corner and trying to plate, it will definitely change how gunfights happen up close and all that. Massive.
Brother. Everybody's asking. Everybody. Yeah. I have not seen a single person, casual, competitive, don't care. Like, everybody wants plating while running back. I'm a little curious as to why they have sent this revert, right? Like so the way in their exact words is, this change includes a slight increase to movement speed while plating to enable players to get to cover faster in moments of need, right? So, like, how much of a movement?
The speed I wish it would be. Y'all know when you go to a black site and you pick up the bomb and you turn in a literal Usain Bolt around the map? Like, I wish. If it was that speed, bro, I'm doing a 24-hour stream every day, bro. I mean, it's not gonna be like that, but anything, like, imagine, like, that would be amazing, bro.
Well, what's funny is
I didn't think they'd touch. Like,
I think this is one of the biggest changes. One of the biggest changes, because we were in the call. I don't know who else was in the call, but they basically told us, nah, that's not happening.
Yeah, I was in there. I was in there.
Dang, the game must be down bad. They're changing. Like, that was a hard stance. They were like, no. You should be penalized. Like, it should be a choice whether you want to run or you want to plate. Like, those are your two choices. Like, that's how they phrased it.
Like, what, penalized for me trying to fight? Like, what is that? Why?
Yeah,
why?
But
like,
that's what they said. Something along those lines. I don't know who was in there.
I was in there.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, like they were. It was a hard stance. Like, nope, not changing.
Yeah, I told him, I was like, was that intentional? Like, because I was like, that's really is like a really bad. I pretty much asked the question, and he was like, no, yeah, that's intentional. We went there to be a downside to plating. We want you to not have an advantage. And I'm like, I was just like, okay. Yeah. So they have sent this change, and how much of a? I think the biggest thing here is how much is a slight increase to movement while plating. So it's enough to be able to bash through doors, right? Mm-hmm. Does that mean we're gonna be on, instead of tactical sprinting while plating, it's just a regular sprint? Is it just somewhere in between walking and sprinting, like they made their own speed, right? What does that entail? The only way to check is we have to go and actually play the game,
Well, I mean, whatever it is, it's better than what we have now. So
yep,
100%. That's what I've been saying. That's what. Yep. I've been saying the same thing. And I don't really mind the, like, they said about going through the doors, because, like, you can technically still now plate up and, like, go through the door if it's yeah, exactly. So it's like, I don't really care about that, but they probably have that in there to show the speed that you'd be running, but they didn't say it, so we'll find out. But either way, it's a W.
Love it, bro. All right, we're in good direction. And then buy stations. I personally love this, boys. Do you guys want to, Joe or J God, Red? Do you guys want to?
Yeah, I can read that.
Okay.
So in order to make buy stations and their goods easier to access, we've revamped our approach. Spawn locations have been added and adjusted. Spawns will be static across the map. So you're going to have predictable locations to grab them. And loadout drop markers have unlimited stock at all stations, which really wasn't impacted because people weren't buying them. But now, whatever that value is, people will buy them and they'll stay in stock. As always, we'll continue to monitor the global balance of our economy and availability of resources as we move forward.
I mean, them being static is enough for me. I just want to know where a buy is going to be. Like, if one, it's in one place, one map. Next time the end zone's around it and there's no buy, it's just like, at least you'll know where you could buy at. That's really solid. I like that.
So it started off, boys, I don't know if y'all remember, like the first first month of Warzone 2, it started off as static. And I love that. Like, I knew, it was just muscle memory. I knew where to go to, like, buy people back. I knew exactly. And then when they reverted that in this last update, whatever it was, I was like, my brain was just rocked. I like there being consistency in BRs. It's still a BR, so there is going to be an RNG to it. But there should be some level of consistency, in my opinion, to, I'm not even going to say BRs, but to Call of Duty Warzone. It's what separated this, like, it's a big reason of why it's so popular, right? So, obviously, two ends of the spectrum. We have the diehard BR people, and then we have us who, we started BRs on Warzone. So I personally think this is amazing. Static across the map is perfect, is in my opinion.
The kind of strange thing is they said that, but they don't go into more about the things you could buy. Again, I don't know why, if they're changing it so there's obviously more cash on the map, things like that, lowering prices for stuff. Will they ever talk about if you can buy certain things multiple times, like UAVs, precision, streaks, self-res? It's like, I feel like, me personally, every buy should have the same things in it. Like, there's some buys that don't have a gas mask, which, again, I don't know why that's not a thing. Some buys have self, some don't. Like, so it's like, I hope that they will change that later, where every buy is the exact same thing, and then you can obviously buy multiple things
and
as many times you want. Yeah, exactly.
Tactical lethals from the shop. Like, that doesn't even make any sense.
Yep.
I mean, so buy station static. Okay, you think they think about doing what's it called, portable buy stations? Do you think they
need them? Yeah, I mean, it depends on how many buys they have on the map. But like with the static buy stations, I think we'll realize we had static before when the game first came out, but there wasn't enough. So if they have enough buys on the map and static buy stations, and then see that they need for more buys, they don't increase. We can't have too many static buy stations. Then they just add deployable buys in. That'd be perfect. I think that, this is enough for now. And then maybe if they're making changes within a week or a week and a half or 2 weeks after this comes out, and then see that we need portables, they just slap them in. I mean, we've already had portables before. It shouldn't be that hard, I think we will need them, though.
Yes, I agree 1000%. I think a lot of these things, boys, we're taking it at face value, but we're not going to actually be able to tell how good or bad these changes are until we actually play the game. Buy stations, it's like you said, it's before we had static, but there was like one. Like now we have a bunch, but they're not static. Now if we have both, that'd be literally perfect. Same thing, movement, we don't know, right? Moving on to last but not least is strongholds. So Brad, you wanna take this one?
I think we've touched mostly on that one, no?
Yeah, I just wanted to see actually go into it in depth.
Overall, okay, so strongholds provide an alternative gameplay experience with high payoff for those willing to tackle the objective, and for others interested in robbing players of their rewards. We're committed to providing a balanced engagement for players who choose to enter the strongholds. Season 2 will bring changes to the rewards players receive from the strongholds and the black site completion, as well as an additional adjustments to AI and combatant damage. So when you do your stronghold, you get a backpack, a 3-plate, a mini box, the key. Maybe they change that a little, so you're getting maybe like a perk, things that we've talked about already. And then for the black site completion, obviously, hopefully they don't change these things too drastically. But again, dude, getting specialists, now that Jake got brought that up, I can't unthink it. Like, getting specialists out of this stuff, like that'd be amazing. That'd be amazing.
Well, what I will say is, if they put something that cool into these, I would say that they need like a harsher penalty for strongholds, because right now, once you clear a stronghold, it disappears off the map, so people don't even know you have a UAV there.
Yeah.
So I think that there should be some kind of indicator, whether it needs to be a small icon where it turns yellow. Because right now, when somebody's actively taking it, it turns red. It's white before anyone touches it. And then after it's gone, it just disappears. So it's like, oh, let me just cruise through here. And you're like, why the hell is someone camping there? Well, they just saw you coming here a mile away on their little UAV ping that you cannot see.
Yeah.
And so I think there needs to be like a quote unquote penalty or a nerf to them in that aspect, especially if they're going to buff rewards. So
yeah,
I don't know. That's just a side note where they could be worse.
Like, take away maybe the UAV lasts for 5 minutes or something like that, or it just tells them maybe that stronghold turns black or something, where the person who took it, they're alive still, and maybe if it removes completely off the map, that means they died. No one has it. You know what I mean? So I don't know. They could definitely do that, but it is way too OP. The black site especially, it's too good. It's way too good.
Agreed. The black site right now. Because I think the main reason of why they're changing it up, or why they're changing like the rewards, is because there's no more backpacks. So because they can give us all these rewards, if you ever do a black site, you get so much stuff off of that. But like you can't carry that much stuff anymore. So now black sites become obsolete, and what you're doing it for just one advance, and what else? I can, J-God, I think you're a genius, and I think you're right. I think they actually give us a specialist from completing the black site. What they changed for strongholds, I have no idea. I don't know what they could replace for the medium backpack that you get, or the satchels. That's a big thing too. I definitely think specialist probably is going to be one of the things that they add, but for black site only. What else they could bring? No idea.
Yep.
But Boys, that is so that in a nutshell is everything coming to season 2. In how much time, boys? 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
That's a lot of mass. I mean, that's like it
That's a
doesn't
massive
dive
change.
straight into everything, but like, you know, we don't. Some of these things are vague. You know, we've been talking about how it could mean a couple different things, but it's enough transparency to hold people over. Like, this is what they should be doing for, even if they don't know exactly, like we don't know what they're adding to the stronghold and black site completion. We were just talking about it, but at least we could talk about it. You know what I mean? Without this, it'd just be just waiting. You know, not waiting is nice. Just being able to read this stuff feels good.
I'm so happy that they literally are telling us what exactly is coming. For me, the biggest thing is transparency. The more transparent they are, the more they talk to us about what's coming or whatever. Like that. That's all we ask for, I think. But now, okay, do y'all think we get any type of update or hot fixes or something to keep us until then? Or we just same game? We're going to play the same game for 3 weeks.
Drop me your RPK and then I'm going to split it. That's fine. Like, it's not good. We're not getting a change. But again, I think it's okay because all of these changes are coming. So like Brad said, we have something to look forward to, but drop me RPK, Fennec, and I'm going to head out.
Yeah, I think one thing that's missing that's kind of bad is a lot of people are spamming in the chat, probably had it at some point in your guys's, is about combat records, leaderboards. Literally, they're silent.
What did I say?
This, right?
What did I say?
They're silent.
I think they're not going to do it. I don't think they're going to do it.
I still think they will. Customs, I think they have to. They have to eventually do that because we've heard that at some point they're going to be having a LAN. At some point, that's the goal. You can't do that without customs.
But also, talking on the first thing you said, I said last podcast, I said, I don't think they're doing combat records. They don't want to see, they don't want players to know how bad they are. Then it would go into skill-based matchmaking, tracking records. I don't think they're going to do a combat record. And they didn't even address it in this one. And they said in the last time, it's coming at a certain date. It didn't come in. And people were like, you're crazy. That's not true. Just saying.
So what do you think if they could figure out the API so it wasn't shared? Like no one's stats were shareable. So you couldn't look them up. None of the sites would work. But personally, you could still log in and check your own combat record.
Yeah, but then could you see
would you compare
your
it to?
stats or no?
No, it's a combat record. Just check out the combat record now for Modern Warfare.
Maybe.
I mean, I think they're going to go back, if they have it, to the same old way where like it tracks your friend stats, how many dubs they have. And I think that is cool to track who has a high KD, their stats. But again, it is kind of shady that they didn't even mention it in this one. And I said, I don't think they're going to do it because they don't want people to know how bad they are or the stats or SPMM or anything like that.
I agree. I 1000% do not think that they come back. That's my opinion.
Wild, man. Yeah. Which is what, that's so crazy. Like, I don't understand. I don't think there's a game where you can't just play
at all.
And there's no like grind factor of certain players that are trying to improve. If they're trying to get, certain kills or certain wins or certain KD, like they can't even track their own stats. Like, and that's for even casual players that are trying to improve or flex that they got 5 dubs last night. Like, it makes no sense, man. I don't understand.
I mean,
at least the wins. I mean, they could just have a win counter, bro. Just tell me how many wins someone has. Like, even if they don't want KD in, that's fine. But like, just anything, literally.
Yeah, wins are crazy for people. Wins are crazy.
Because, people they have 5 wins and they're like, damn, like I have 5 wins, I could show this off. And it's like, you don't know how many games it took me to get 5 wins. You don't know how long I played. All you see is I have 5 wins and that's it. Like, I just flex those wins. I got those yesterday. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll be honest, boys. I personally think maybe because obviously talking to some of the devs, their main goal is to make the game like the baseline good first, and then everything else comes. So that's if it does come, it's gonna be later whenever Warzone is back. Like people are playing the game again, and the foundation is good, and then they're gonna fix the little things. But
I feel like that's not even a little thing. Like that should have been day one.
Yeah.
I just don't get of now. There's so many players that are trying to show their stats and KD and wins, where if they bring it back, there's going to be an uproar of people that's like, I have so many wins before this. Why are they not tracking?
So your guys' KDs and your titles aren't accurate? Is that what you're saying?
Mine says 69.
Mine says 6.69 and 42.0 nukes.
That's so silly when people believe that shit too.
Yo, they're like,
No.
no, they literally ask you like, bro, you have a 6.69 KD, and I always laugh, bro, because I don't like I
just
made
died
it so
twice.
fun.
That doesn't even make sense. Like how?
That's lower now. Like you should update that. Like, is that updating?
Yeah, bro. But I mean, so
you see, we're getting 5 weapons though, right?
Oh yes, I didn't even see that. I didn't see that.
It's only in multiplayer. I don't know how they're gonna do it. They're probably gonna do like 2 weapons, whatever. They'll probably give us an OP sniper that probably somehow one shots, and then we'll get a melee weapon, right? So.
So wait, so only to multiplayer? You won't?
No, it'll be for all, but it was only in the multiplayer section.
Oh,
okay.
I didn't even read that. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Oh,
I'll say this for the people that, and again, I hate sniping, and I'm the king of being headshot sniped. I think if you have a heavy sniper, snipers should one shot, man. It actually is dumb. Like
it's
again,
heavy.
and I get headshot sniped a ton. It is dumb. It makes no sense. I could understand like the SPR and the but like a heavy sniper, that should be a knock if you hit him in the head.
I will say that it could be balanced the way it was towards the end of Caldera, where there's maybe only 1 or 2 snipers. Then the like trash, like it's so hard to hit. Like this movement, everything is slow. And then you had like the car where it was like, hey, we could hit up at like 80 meters and we're fine. So I think they could balance it like that. That's probably what they'll do. They've been copying and pasting instead of starting with that as a foundation and then modifying, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I know I got an insane amount of hate because I said snipers shouldn't one shot like a year ago, and what's funny is that 2 weeks later they switched snipers to not one shot anymore, and everybody said it's your fault, and I'm like, bro, it's not. Like, do you guys realize for a change to happen they have to go through so many phases? Like, just because I said it to the
Repullze is the CEO of Actors confirmed. What?
Yeah, no, like just because I said it doesn't mean they're gonna change it right away, right?
One thing we didn't talk about, it talks about in the last paragraph that obviously we already kind of knew about it because they mentioned it a little bit, but how a resurgence map will work. With these changes, do you think those changes are enough to make that mode hype? It's in the last part of this thing. It says
at least having the plating while running.
See, it says there are seasoned. It's right below the photo, looking ahead. It says, including the return of Resurgence, the full season 2. February 8th, we're going to get a better blog. And then probably the following week, we get a roadmap. And then we get patch notes. And then we actually get the update. So that's like the steps we got going forward. And they'll probably gas up this Resurgence map and make it like super hype and whatever. Do you think the changes?
I think the changes will help a lot. The number one thing about the small maps that was amazing was when you were getting kills, you would get UAV pings from those kills.
Yeah.
Will it work like the certain perks too? But like that is what made that game, because you could still camp and play the small map slow. But if you want to play aggressive, you could play aggressive and find people on the map, because every kill you get, you can see where their teammates are and things like that. That I think is a number one must if they have Resurgence and they want it to run well, because that's why people play it. It's going to be quicker, faster pace. It's not going to be, if people don't have time for a 30-minute game, they can play that and have a good, quick game. And I think if they don't do that, it's going to be terrible.
I'm excited as fuck. I'm gonna be honest, like so many of the casual, not even casual, even people who just like aggressive players, right? People who want to like Resurgence is going to be a huge thing to get the population back and get a lot of people back with eyes on Warzone. I'm really excited for that. Will it release on the 15th? Do you guys think, boys? Like right when season 2 drops, or you think they prolong it to?
I think it does, because then there'll be a ton of kind of, there's certain players that quit, and if they see that, they could try the game again and see all these changes. And I think it will.
I think no.
That day.
No,
really?
Mid-season, maybe?
No, I think it's going to get DMZ, and they're going to make it a multiplayer map. So you're going to play it. If you want to play it in multiplayer, you can play it 24 versus 24. And then DMZ, they'll do some side stuff with it, like Building 21, where you'll need a key from Al Mazrah, and then you'll get access to that map. And it'll probably be 30 people on the map, 20 people. You'll play it. There'll be some high value loot. And then probably mid-season when they'll actually, that's my guess, just because I think they want to hype it up. Obviously, you guys won the tournament, right? But like you guys all got a chance to play it. Obviously, DMZ, it has its own niche, and it's a lot more fun than you expect. You do have to put way more hours into it to really like enjoy it. Obviously, the challenges you guys did was a little bit more forced in a tourney format, but those are the type of things you do when you're trying. And like perfect example of DMZ is like when you guys were exfilling. I know that there's some probably people in the chat that didn't see the tournament, but when like Joe and was it Breadman and FIFA, you guys were exfilling. That last time, you could tell that you were tense as hell. Like going for a nuke, tense. Like,
that tense, because we knew that we did every single challenge. We had to leave in 20 seconds. And if that timer was taken down, a team pulled up on us. And we knew two teams. We had to kill them, or else we lost the tournament. So it was like that serious. And still, for like the normal DMZ players, you have to exfil to keep your loot. So if there's teams pulling up on you on that last chopper or a chopper, you have to know we have to kill them, or else we don't get to keep our stuff. Like, that's really cool.
Yeah,
it's like 25 minutes for nothing.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize that there's a skill level where it's kind of like hard to exfil, and like them doing one of the normal exfils that disappear, like that's what they feel like when they're exfilling, like what you did during that moment, you know? And that's really how it is, because it's that difficult, you know? So I think obviously they're invested in that. That's performed better than they thought, so they're going to keep rolling with that. So I think there's no expectation that that's not going to receive the love it gets, because that audience is generally happy.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see what the future holds, boys. Because listen, out of everything that they fixed, right? Is there what we haven't talked about this? And what do you guys want to see that's not included in the patch notes? For example,
sorry.
No, go ahead. I was just gonna say time to kill, but this is the thing. They addressed weapon tuning, as we talked about on the last podcast. Jay God said that long range time to kill is about the same as it was in Warzone 1. It's about the same, but up range time to kill is insane. So, do they really need to add a 50% into base health, or are they going to weapon tune the subs, all subs across the board? Because we don't know. We have to wait and see till 3 weeks from now. Like, do you think they're going to change time to kill as a whole now with this update? What do y'all think?
I think they're going to change it, but I think they're going to also someday. But I really hope that they tune a lot of the guns where you can use certain things based on how it like should play, because it's so dumb how now there's really only like 4 to 5 guns like to be used, and there's how many 35 others or something that literally don't get used at all. Like, I know even on ground loop, don't even pick it up. Like, it's pointless. And I think there's so many guns like that are literally pointless to use, and I feel like that should be changed for sure.
And I don't think that's a hard change. I think if you just attack the ones that are the biggest offenders, you end up making them balance towards like the Hurricane, towards the mini back. Like, no one's going around saying, yeah, this mini back's OP. You'll see it in YouTube titles, but that's not real. Like, we know it's not real because you show up to the tourney, you're rocking the Fennec or double pistols. That's it. Like, there's no other choice. That's what you're running. And the same thing with the rifle. You're either going to use attack 56, which I don't see at all on tourneys, other than RPK. And that's it. That's literally it.
Real quick, though, that was a lot of hate towards the mini bach, man. I dropped my PR with that gun.
Well, you tend to do that because you play different when you know you have a shitty gun. You play smarter. Yeah. That's why most people's PRs are with shitty guns. Like, if you look at all the big PRs in Warzone 1, it was like with the Odin, with like dumb stuff. AN94. Oh, yeah. Iceman Isaac got his AN94 PR. I'm like, he's a god tier player, you know? Like, the reason it's so gas. It's because you play different. You play different because you know that you can ego chow with the broken shit.
I agree.
But I can't say that the only thing, the mini block isn't that good, but I can't say the 64 bullets with no attachment, it's fire. That's actually because obviously, of course, like, you're getting shredded, but the 64 bullets, and I could thirst people too and keeper, like, it was nice. I can.
I like it, man. It's not bad, but definitely ain't meta. Listen, bro, all I know is we're in a great position, boys, for the future. I think they are finally listening to us. We're finally, like, our voices, I feel like they're being heard. And
no, they're listening to the sales. They're not. You got to stop saying that because that's how you paint the picture that they listen to us. They don't.
Okay.
They're listening to the sales.
They're listening to the sales, but then because what they thought didn't work, that wasn't getting sales. Now they're going back to what worked. And when we've been telling them all along that just go back to what worked. Like,
if they were listening to us, we would have gotten Warzone 1 with the facelift and it would have improved the mantling mechanic a little bit. You know, we would have got some improvement, and we'd be like, oh, cool, we got some strongholds. Oh, you know, that's what happened if they didn't. You know?
Yeah, building instead of just like scrapping everything, like building would have been so nice because you have all the same players that you had at the end, and then you just gather more and more and more and more, and then it's just like I don't know.
But it sucks. It has to get to that point where there's people literally quitting the game for them to make changes. I feel like that's such a bad way. That it has to get to a point where they see, oh wow, people aren't buying bundles. Oh wow, our player base is dropping. Let's go back to what everybody loved in the first place, which we changed for no reason. Like I just think that's such a bad dynamic, man.
And you know what? I would say this is that like it's good to take risk. I think in certain games it's cool when it pays off, but you don't like you maybe take like 1 or 2 risk, not 75. You know. And all those stack up together, and it's like, all right, cool. Well, you know what? We're going to do Warzone 1, but we're going to do a 2v2 gulag. And we're like, all right, that's not so bad. Boom. No. But we're going to do a 2v2 gulag, and we're only going to do 2 plates. And we're going to reduce the health. And we're going to, and it just keeps going. It's like, bro, chill the hell out. Like, please. We're doing some minor changes. We're not reinventing the wheel. Like, we had something good here. Like, we're not just tossing it. Otherwise, let's make us like every other game that no longer is popular. Like what?
And then you're gonna come out of the log, land in. There's no money and no buys, and you have an 8-round pistol. So good luck getting that win. See you in the next one. Like what? What are we doing, man?
The P90 for the gulag. Oh my god.
That good's so bad. It's so bad.
I look so terrible when I'm using that thing.
So J God, I know you don't really play Battle Royale as much in Warzone 2. Nope. With all these changes, is it enough to bring you back? Because I feel like there's a lot of people.
I'm gonna wait for the small map. Okay. I think in terms of enjoyment, I can get good little 10-minute play session. I win, boom. They're a little bit easier to win. I hate playing 25 minutes and then like
30.
You didn't even die to necessarily an outplay sometimes with the TTK. Sometimes it's just like, oh shit, like, all right. And then there's other times where it's like, cool, good play. But waiting 25 minutes for that is kind of obnoxious when I could wait 12, and find out the same thing. DMZ, all the challenges are reset, so I'm gonna have a shit ton of stuff to grind there. There's a rose skin that I have that it's gonna be locked away forever, and no one's gonna get. Yes, there's 2 rose skins you get for Black Mouse tier 3, tier 4. I'm pretty sure maybe it's tier 2, tier 4. But either way, literally, I use that one and I get comments. They're like, "How do you get that?" And literally, it's gonna be locked away as soon as the season's over.
Wait, is it nasty? Because let me see that. Let me see that thing real quick. So
it's a purple. It's just a purple skin. It's not even all that, but people love that shit for some reason.
Yeah, exclusivity.
But also on that topic, I think having things like that would be so cool for if they are tracking wins and things like that. For like to have a cool skin or a gun skin or a charm where if you do things like that, you get exclusive stuff. That's something to grind for and play for. And I think that's something that they should add in the future of exclusive, like that people love that. If you have a certain skin that everybody else doesn't have because you did something to get it, I think that's awesome.
Hopefully they add more stuff like that.
Plus, like the nuke skin, hopefully they do variants of that. Like, I think that's a cool idea where like, even like with Vanguard, they actually had a kind of a cool system where, and they kind of stole that from World War II a little bit because they had that similar. I know a lot of you guys weren't grinding World War II, but basically when you hit Prestige, you got like different versions of the skin, like Vanguard, where like once you unlock the different operators, you unlock the different operators where it'd go like silver, gold, and then it did the purple, which is like the royal. Most of the people had the Snoop Dogg one where it kind of went through those changes, or the Terminator. It had versions of the same skin. And I think they should have the same thing for that one where you get the base generic nuke skin and then you get this other one with maybe gold or whatever the hell.
Yeah. Or if you do like 5 nukes or 10 nukes or 20 nukes, you actually have like, once you've got 1 nuke, you've already done it. I mean,
it doesn't matter. Anymore,
so yeah.
That would be sick if they did like 5, 10, 15, whatever the heck it may be.
I mean, they need that rewards for anything in general. I know some people will be like, oh, that's so exclusive. That's only for streamers. They should have that for wins. They should have that for kills. They should have that for gulag win percentage, or not percentage, but gulag win. They should literally have it for everything in the game. Even if it's stupid, it should be in the game. Even if it looks stupid, it doesn't matter. Pay some intern, create some lame ass shit, and be like, cool. At least I got that lame ass shit. Nobody else does.
That's my lame ass shit. That's mine.
Miles driven in a vehicle, I got it. I'm down. Like anything, man. Like,
what does it matter? Just do it.
Yep.
I agree. I
Then
agree
you're unlocking
1,000%.
stuff that you didn't even like. You get on and you're like actually getting stuff. Like now you get on, you play. There's no stats. You don't even. You could, dude. I could get on and play 8 hours and you never know. Like no one would.
There's
ever
no
know.
point. There's no point.
There's no.
What are you talking about? I play 100 hours a day, and I have 1,000 wins
and a 69 KD.
Well, boys, listen, man, we're off to a great, in a great direction right now. They're doing, in my opinion, finally. I feel like this should be baseline of where we should have been when the game launched. But I'm gonna give them their flowers and be like, you know what? Thank you for bringing it back, because what we're about to get in 3 weeks is drastically different. What the fuck? Different from what we have now, right? So. I don't know, boys. I'm happy. I'm excited for this next 3 weeks, or I'm not for these next weeks. I'm excited for what's about to come. I'm dreading these next 3 weeks. I don't know. I need a fast forward button. I don't know.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
So
Yeah,
we'll
so
see, man.
Transparency is nice.
One quick side note, though, I will say that the nukes will probably be super hard after the update.
Really?
Yeah, your backpacks are going to be tiny as hell.
Oh,
Everyone
you're
that comes
right.
back from the gulag has 3 plates,
Oh,
and they come back from the gun. And they're like, I mean, it's gonna be hard if you. And they'll probably bring back the heavy chopper for some reason, maybe, I don't know, and somebody will be
not.
anti. Yeah,
No,
we'll
it's
see.
not.
I think that they scrapped that, even though they have skins for it. I think so. I think they have to add it back in.
oh shit.
Oh no,
I hate that
it's
chopper.
in Modern Warfare 2, huh? It's the Pavlo is on the ground war maps. Some of them.
Yeah.
Really? Oh yeah, I hate that thing. I hope they never bring it back. But anyways, boys, I appreciate y'all coming out, boys. That was an amazing episode of the podcast. We got more boys. We'll run this back again whenever we get more info and see how it goes. Because I want more info on the Resurgence map. That's the big one that I'm waiting for. So far, they did an amazing job. I think huge W for what they're doing right now. And all the changes that they added. Now we just gotta wait and see what's next. So hopefully the Resurgence map is game changing, and then we'll go from there.
100%.
Absolutely.
All right, boys.
Appreciate
Appreciate
it,
y'all,
baby.
man. Thank you guys.
Yes, sir.
Everybody who tuned in.
Yeah.
Everybody who tuned in. Thank y'all for coming out, man. We'll do another one next week. All right, babies.
Yes, sir.
Later, boys. Later, boys. Y'all have a good one, baby.
Yeah.
Later.
Nice.
Peace,
Enjoy
peace,
yourselves.
peace. Love you guys, boy. Peace.